allies to approve a $163 billion reparations loan backed by the frozen Russian assets. The request comes as Kyiv faces a major budget shortfall and political fallout from a corruption scandal. European leaders failed to reach a decision last month and will revisit the issue at a December 18 summit. Ukraine's officials say this may be Europe's last chance this year to release the loan, which Russia has warned could trigger a painful response. Meanwhile, allegations of a $100 million kickback scheme in the energy sector have ensnared two ministers, putting additional pressure on President Zelenskiy and his administration. Officials insist the scandal has not halted efforts to secure the loan, though it adds political strain on Kyiv's international partners. Let's listen into what the deputy head of the Office of Ukraine's President, Irina Mudra, has said.
Here that something is put on a hold. Just let's take a reparation loan. Let's take immobilized Russian assets. We 3 years of work. The decision is still not here. So the decision is definitely overdue. This is not because yesterday this scandal happened or 3 years ago something happened, but this additional information, as you said, fuels the decisions of political leaders of other countries. So it provides a small impact, but still impact in deciding whether Ukraine should get this reparation loan or not.
Now we welcome back Professor Veselin Popovsky. He's a professor and vice dean at Jindal Global Law School. Thank you very much, Professor, for staying with us. Now, looking at this, as we discussed earlier with you on this channel, that Ukraine really needs it, and you also mentioned your views that Russia cannot do much even if the frozen assets are used for Ukraine's benefit. What are the potential and political, also diplomatic consequences for Kyiv if now that corruption scandals have undermined confidence in its ability to manage this large international financial loan or aid that could help Ukraine? And do you think that this will be possible or feasible on the upcoming European decision?
I don't think the European decision will be affected by the corruption investigation in Ukraine. First of all, by the way, this demonstrates how democratic and how transparent is Ukraine. Ukraine doesn't hide under the carpet if somebody is corrupted. It immediately takes action, which is exactly the opposite in Moscow. In Moscow, every single general, every single official is corrupted in that big country, Russia. But we don't see that in the news exactly because it's the dictatorship. And they hide we don't see scandals of corruption in North Korea, in China, Iran, and Russia, because these are dictatorships. Only transparent democracies report corruption. And what Ukraine does is what every single democracy in the world should do. If there is a corruption, it is investigated, it is properly informed to the public. And I see that as a good news for Ukraine, that there are a couple of corrupted former officials, and that there will be sanctions accordingly. That's a good news for Ukraine. That should make Europeans happy and continue to support Ukraine exactly because corrupted officials, which are in every single country in the world, should be exposed and should be sanctioned. I don't see absolutely any problem with the corruption in Ukraine, exactly because this is what needs to be done in your country, in my country, and every other country in the world. Well done, Ukrainians. Expose the corruption and move on and win the war against Russia, against that brutal dictatorship that kills so many civilians. I'm very happy with all this development, Asum.
With that, I would like to thank Professor Veselin Popovsky for always joining us and sharing that insight on this news. Now we move on to our next news. U.S. President Donald Trump has said that broadcasting licenses used by affiliates of Walt Disney's ABC should be taken